black for what they did to my people way back in the days. Mothers and fathers picking cotton, beating ass slaves, raping our black sisters, making them have babies. Babies and babies and babies and babies and more babies. What is the problem now? Why can't we communicate to stop the racism and get rid of all the hate? Cause black ain't nothing but a color.
Being out there on the highway, it does give us a little freedom.
This is what we call freedom. Right here.
Even though walking down this highway, we're still locked up. If you go too far in the woods, it's like, hey, get over here.
Nothing's ever last, and after 4 years in, I was released. Spit up, spit out of the belly of the beast, but just another victim in the system, no doubt. So I gotta watch my back because the beast are out, yo. You're just another victim in the system, no doubt. So you better watch your back because the beast are out.
When your husband's screaming at you all the time about every little thing that in his eyes you're doing wrong, you fear for everything. Because you know you're going to get hit. You know if you don't have the house cleaned or straightened out in a certain way, you know he's going to freak out on you. If the dinner's not cooked right, if the meal's not cooked right, then you know you're going to get beat up. So yeah, you walk around eggshells because you don't know what kind of mood he's going to come home in. So you do everything and anything you can to please him, to make sure he doesn't have an excuse to hit you, or to scream at you, or to make you feel like you're this small. But it just seemed that nothing pleased him anymore.
East way, please.
It means just being stupid and taking it all the time. Thinking that there's got to be something better than this. This can't be love. My father tried to kill me when I was little. And if I didn't do something that my mom told me to do, you know, I'd get beat for it. If you're a child and your parents are beating on you and they're saying, I love you, then that's love to you. One night, I was washing dishes when my husband came home aggravated. He had taken a knife and he was going to hurt me with it. My son was asleep, and I guess he must have heard the yelling, and he came out and tried to get in between us, and David pushed him out of the way, and he bumped his head, and he fell down, and then that's when I snapped. Everything just came out, all the anger, all the hatred, all the pain. I stabbed him 71 times.
Everyone is not here if there's been a manslaughter or a murder because it was a self-defense issue. There have been women, I think, here who have used the domestic violence or the abusive relationship as their reasoning. Did I think that they possibly had other avenues? Yes, they might have.
I committed a horrific crime. I mean, I had a lot of sexual abuse by my uncle. And my older brother abused me as well. And you think it's normal. You think it's normal behavior. You think everybody's doing that. I adopted 2 children, and I thought that they were going to be the cure-all. But abuse isn't love. It was, you know, over the years, building up, building up, building up, building up. There was something about my older child that just brought out the worst in me. I don't know if I saw my own pain through him or my own abuse issues from my past. But the kid started with the crying and the whining and the crying and the whining and the crying and the whining. And I just remember, you know, me trying to put him down for a nap. And, you know, he was on the potty and he kept it up and kept it up. And I just kind of slammed him. But I really didn't think he was hurt. And then a couple hours later, he went to bed and he never woke up. When I got, you know, locked up in the county, people threw the piss at me, threw lit cigarettes at me. When you come from abuse, you just do what you know. It's like a diabetic in a bakery. You know, it's sitting there, and the more you don't want to do it, the more you do it. the more you go for the cake.
I've never been in trouble before in my life. Don't even have a speeding ticket. To get out of the house from my abusive father, I was married at 14 and a half. His oldest brother raped me. I went back home. My last husband was 6'2" and weighed 235 pounds. And to me, his hands were a lethal weapon. One time he had put my head through the wall, and another night he beat me with one of my shoes. You know, just thing after thing after thing. And I just snapped. I couldn't take it anymore. I shot him. Even had my eyes closed, but I still hit him. I call it self-defense. They don't. They call it aggravated manslaughter. I got 30 years with 85%, which if I do that time, I would be 83 and a half years old when I get out of here.
My oldest son is in Annandale right now, and I have a 16-year-old who's locked up too. He's seen it all. He's seen me do it all. He's always been right there. They are walking in my footsteps, doing the same thing, the drugs selling, the guns, the slinging and stuff. When my son got locked up, the girls that know me, they'll tell you I was bugging out. I was about to lose it. And I have a 30 to life sentence. It's time for this pattern to be broken. My co-defendant boyfriend and we sold a lot of drugs. The two people that was selling for him, both Caucasians, they would run off with big quantities of drugs. And he was gonna make an example. He strangled a woman, and he stabbed a man 24 times. He then wrapped him up, put him in the trunk of his car. I helped move the bodies. I'm not in denial of that. I took him to Weequahic Park. Set him on fire, and that was it.
A lot of the women say, Mrs. Blackwell, you're never going to see me again. The first thing I'm going to do when I get out is going to find myself a good man. And I almost shriek, because probably it was that good man that helped assisted with getting them incarcerated in the first time.
I'm tired of niggas. Now what is niggas? Niggas ain't nothing but one's ignorance. Ain't got nothing to do with your color. It's a state of mind. You know, I gotta represent like a motherfucker, so I ain't playing. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Huh? Let's hear Sister Eliana, will we? Let's hear from Sister Eliana.
My sisters, you can't blame anybody for where you are today. You made a decision that this is where you wanted to end up. But it's time to turn that thing around. You made up in your mind that you ain't no longer gonna let this time do you, neither are you gonna let somebody else up in this hall do you.
Stick on that for a minute.
So now we playing this game lickety-licky, sucking one another up and down because we now do not have the fulfillment of our man to contend with. The reality is that when I get up out of here, I'm going to get me some dick. When that's the reality, why you playing yourself? Stop playing the game. That's what the truth is.
We just kind of got a little offended because although it wasn't personally, it felt like, yeah, you know.
Let me tell you something. Your sexual preference is your sexual preference because that's where you are.
But then us, that's been in it for dear life, you know, it's making us look bad. Because it's like, I got a beautiful dad, I got a beautiful wife.
You got a beautiful wife?
Yeah.
What's your wife's name?
There's a bonding experience that often sets up between women in an institution.